Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today in our live this Sunday. If you are in Ireland, hope you enjoyed the little snow we had today. Just gonna start presenting myself. I'm Juliana. I've been with the Spiritist group since 2011. Yep. And I'm going to be talking today about the theme about being Spiritist. And it's just like a very quick talk and for informal discussion about, being Spiritist and the challenge we face today, in the 21st century. So, sorry for being a little bit delayed. And with the same time, it's just my kitchen. So don't worry, I'm just in the kitchen because I had to bring my workspace here. But hope everyone it's fine today. And I would like to start with our initial prayer. So if you'd like to sit comfortably, be comfortable. Close your eyes. Big, deep breath. Connect to the upper world. I'd like to thank everyone for being here today. I'd like to ask all our people who have been here. I'd like to ask the spiritual guardians for being here. I'd like to ask permission to be on this talk today, and I'd like to ask if they can actually bless us with the teachings. Thank you everyone for coming here today. So be it. Okay. There's going to be a challenge as well for me, presenting here. Anyway, so the theme today is being Spiritist. So just a wrap up, like very basic words. What is being a Spiritist? And just going to start here saying, on the Spiritist book, the introduction, the spirits, they gave us the definition and why, the reason that we call ourselves spiritists and spiritism, just as part as a spiritualist belief, that don't believe in something more than just the matter, just what something more than what our eyes can see. We call ourselves spiritists because it's us that identify and accept the explanation given by the spiritist doctrine about the laws that reign our lives and the universe. So that's more or less what's simple like this, so that's why we call ourselves spiritist and not a spiritualist, but we kind of part of a spiritualism and spiritualist beliefs because we believe something more than just the matter, the things that we see. We believe in what we don't see as well. So, and of course, there is in many work from Allan Kardec, the spiritists, they always explain about us, about our role, and what would imply being a spiritist. So I took this one from Boston's work of Allan Kardec, The True Spiritist. So the man who works hard for his own improvement ensure his happiness for this life. In addition to the satisfaction of his own conscience, he exempts himself from the miseries, material and moral, which are inevitable consequence of his imperfection. So this wrap up a little bit, it's, and although it's something individual, so it's between you yourself. It's between you and God, and it's between your work, what you do to improve yourself, to get better. That's when you're improving yourself. So bringing you, that's gonna free up your conscience. That's gonna bring you happiness. Because whether we like to admit or not, we all are in pursuit of happiness. And spiritualist believes in a spiritist. We are the same thing, pursuing for our own happiness, and we believe that this comes with our own hard work. Of course, how are we gonna, with a satisfaction for our own conscience and exempt ourselves from material miseries, material moral, improving ourselves, getting better morally, spiritually speaking, not our external or anything. It's always within us ourselves. It's us, between us and us. How we improve. So work hard is something it's necessary, to be a true spiritist. The true spiritist can be recognized by the moral transformation and efforts they employ in order to dominate the bad instincts. So it's reaffirming what we said, our hard work in trying to improve and dominate our bad instincts. All the suffering we suffer is actual consequences of our bad instincts. It's really a broad thing to say, but I'm not going to go much into detail about this, because this is another thing, another subject to be discussed. So while one is content with a limited horizon, the other, who understand that better things exist, makes every effort to liberate himself, and always manage to do this when their desire is strong and true. Again, it's all about your moral transformation, how much you desire to actually transform, to get spiritually better. That is something about the true spiritist. And there's one thing, you can sympathize with the spiritism, you can but when you call yourself a spiritist, there is some implications on that. And I'm not saying like you have to be with us or against us. That's not no way, not at all. What I said is this: to recognize you as being a spiritist, you have to work hard on your moral transformation, on your spiritual transformation, And of course, we go by, according to the Spiritism doctrine. So just to wrap up, being Spiritist here at this part of the chapter, because I'm going to talk about the challenges as well. Being Spiritist is working hard in moral transformation. So work hard. It's need for study. Study the books of Allan Kardec, everything that was psychographic by the basic books that we study. So it needs to study to get knowledge, to immerse yourself and practice the true charity. And when I say true charity here, it's not just, I'm not talking about, your 20 quid you give to that charity, your 2-3 hours or 4 hours work volunteer. That's really good. We talk about the everyday true charity, when we recognize ourselves as more, not only just an individual, but an individual that's our own society, what we do to our next, to our neighbor, to, Jesus didn't say, the two laws, the two main laws that he, it's all the 10 commandments is wrapped up in two things: love God above all and love your neighbors yourself. This is the true charity. Love your neighbors yourself. So it's much more broad than actually just giving money, your time volunteer, or it's all of this. It's also this, but it's how we treat others just beside you, your family, people around you, around your work, how you deal with this, you treat this. So that's charity. When we talk about charity, that's what we meant. And the need to study hard, to work hard, is also to study immersion knowledge. It's because we know, and that's the famous Greek formula, I know, I just know I know nothing. That's what we we don't know everything. And the Spiritist doctrine, it's no way saying that is the one that's going to explain everything. There is no such religion or any spiritualist believes that actually will explain everything. And the Spiritism definitely doesn't actually want to claim that. We are not the only true, and that's why we need to study, to immerse ourselves in knowledge, because knowledge, study, practice, and true internal transformation will make us a Spiritist, and will make us, morally evolve, or spiritually evolve, better like this, develop spiritually. So our moral transformation change within to outside. It's always in me. What I change on me, that's going to affect outside, the others. It's nothing what I show, what I did. That's definitely not a Spiritist. We'll never say, oh, I do this. And that's one of the reasons as well we don't have like a sacerdotal hierarchy, or a place that's going to be, a temple or anything. Anywhere can be a place where you do your prayers. There is no castes, no, everyone is in the same path. And I'm going to explain a little bit more about this. So improve ourselves to evolve spiritually. So being Spiritist is more or less, you study, you practice for your true internal transformation. So, but why we are Spiritist? Spiritist. So when you consider yourself Spiritist, and we are Spiritist because we understand Spiritism as a spiritualist philosophy, non-dogmatic, that promotes the free thinking, which means we are not judgmental. We don't judge. We, as a spiritualist philosophy, and non-dogmatic. We don't have dogmas. We don't have, not coming the word, sorry about that. But we don't come processes. No. We, it's much more naturally than actually something, you have to be exactly dogmatic. Didn't explain well. Okay. So we are different in different stages of moral evolution, so that's our individuality. We are an individual being, and there's no other same as me, just as in the way I look like, but internally as well. We are diverse, and we are in different stages of moral evolution. That means no one's better than other. Now, the fact I'm talking here today, I'm no better. Actually, this speech, it's much more for myself than anyone else that could be watching this, So we don't have this hierarchy where someone that's giving talk is more moral, evolved, spiritually evolved. No, it's not. Definitely not. We are in the same base because we have the same goal, which is evolve morally, spiritually get better. That's it. And we are all different stages, and it's not like 10 phases. It could be hundreds, thousands of phases, millions of phases, that we go through, with our reincarnation. Everyone have been many reincarnation, each reincarnation is different. So the diversity is huge. We cannot quantify. So we cannot put ourselves in a specific. Everyone is different. Everyone is on the same path, with the same goal, different paths, different stages. So we have to recognize that we are all different. We have different, just like different opinions, different ways to live, spiritually speaking, we are also different individually, in our own individual and unique evolution, or way to evolution, to spiritual evolution. We recognize ourselves an individual being, but we are not individual. That's something really important. We are individual being because we are different from each other. We are unique. That means we are not individualists. We are us. We are individuals living in a society, in a community, in a country, in a culture. We are people, different people living together, and the Spiritist book, they have, the laws of societies, explains a lot about this if you want to get more insights on that. So, what are the challenges for Spiritists on 21st century? And I know we have been officially now 20 years on from the 21st century, and it's different, although sometimes, especially some of us, most of us that were born, at the end of the last century, we have seen a lot of changes, but the challenges are different, so it's good for us to have, especially for me to, no, wait, we have been 20 years on 21st century, so we are dealing with different things, different ways, to live our own lives, So what are the challenges? There's many of challenges. I'm just gonna get some of the challenges that's very specific to us on the 21st century. So our world today is an addition of constant stimulus to disperse and alienate from what does really matter. And when we say what does really matter, it's our spiritual evolution. How can we improve ourselves? That's matter. Not what we possess, but things we're gonna. It belongs to us. We are all time bombarded with news, images, videos of a multitude of appeals, distracting our focus and attention. It's true, And for example, social media is something for 21st century. It didn't have before on the 20th century. So it's a big part, So I'm focusing more on the challenge we have here, We are losing precious time and energy on what is non-essential to our lives, and this forever happy life we want to show to everyone, That's it's not an essential thing, because we know as Spiritists we are on planetary transition. We came from a world of test and atonement. We know that suffering it's something we need to pass here on Earth. There is no forever happiness here, not yet. Okay, not yet. This is not something we gonna get there. There are other planets. They enjoy pure happiness because they have done all the stages. We are not there yet. So suffering is part of our life. Suffering, it's our learning. It's how we learn to become better. And of course, I'm not minimizing any suffering here. It's just generalizing a bit, but not minimizing, because each one has your own life and had your own struggles, everyday struggles. So I'm not minimizing the struggles. They are huge for us, for us that we we pass to. That's really, really, really huge. And the consumption code of our society transferred happiness to buying stuff, to acquiring, acquaintance. Now, we know, since child, we know that, things that doesn't belong to us, we might possess them, but they don't belong to us. They are not from us. It's not going to bring happiness. Nothing that it's not. Only things that belongs us that brings happiness, And what we belong, it's ourselves, it's no possession. And just like a child, if you give a toy for a child, she's gonna play once, twice, 3 times a week, a month. But then it's not a present that they wanted, a toy that they wanted, really, really, we want. But they know that that's not happiness. They are happy at that time playing with that toy. But then that toy eventually it's gonna be not news anymore. It's not gonna bring the happiness they want, because that's it. It don't belong to them. They possess it. So that's our contemporaneous. This is actually the consumption code of society we bring from the 20th century, especially from mid of the 20th century. So we still bring. It's a bit collapsing now because we are on a period of planetary transition, and it's making us, it's shaking us to actually think about the challenge we're facing nowadays. It's making us think about a lot our consumption, and I'll bring on my next slides. I'm going to talk about 3 challenges that we have for this century. It's not new, and it's not going to be something different, but it's a bit it's what we have to deal with. And the first is the pandemic, of course. We have been now more than 1 year on to the pandemic. This is not the first, neither will be the last pandemic. However, it's happening on the planetary transition, and that is something new. We've been in the planetary transition, which is our transition from a world of tests and atonements to the regeneration world. And put it simply, it's more like the tests and atonements. It's a world that evil dominates, selfishness. That's gonna I like more the selfishness dominate. We need a transition to get to the regeneration where selfishness will be a lot less. It will not dominate. We're gonna do more good. But we don't go like playing magic wand, playing. Now we are in the regeneration and we are all good. No, we have to learn. We have to build this path. We have to go through this path. We have to, and suffering, it's gonna be along. Again, not minimizing any suffering. And I think, but this is part of our life and helps us when we understand that this could, most of the suffering could get us better person. And it's not generalizing anything, because each one has, there's things that in the world you ask why people passes this, why people suffer like this, I have those questions as well. So not minimizing, but lots of our suffering we can learn and we can improve, break that shell and become, a new person after you just suffer, so this is the planetary transition. Sorry, back to the planetary transition. We are, and planetary transition is not something like, oh yes, we're gonna be much more better. The vibrations will be higher. It actually needs to transformation. It needs like transformation is a mix of destruction and renewing. So we need destruction and renewing, destruction and renew. So it's going to be a turmoil. Planetary transition is not going to be something like, wow, very vibrating. So no. It's going to be a turmoil, because we need to. If we need to actually change our acts, to change ourselves. There is no more time for, I'll do that next incarnation. I do that later. No, we have to act now. And this pandemic, this new characteristic of the virus is easily mutable and highly contagious. It stop, definitely, literally stop us. It's like something saying, stop. You have to stop. You have to stay home. You have to stay in. Stop doing what you're doing. So from suffering under tournaments, we have been given the opportunity to reflect our routines pre-pandemic, perhaps establish new environment ethics related to impact of us on Earth. This is just, one of the things, an opinion. But we are suffering. Lots of us have lost people really dear to us. But we have to think now, when you are at home, might feel less necessity to buy things, maybe. I don't know. When we are home, we are thinking, yes, because I'm the vector of this virus, I don't want to be spreading around, because I might not, if I get it, it might not affect me, but definitely can affect someone else. So that's a challenge that we're facing, and this is our part, how we deal with, as a spiritist. It's really difficult time, but we know we live in a world that suffering does exist. Suffering, it's needed for us to become better. Again, not minimizing the suffering, but we know as a spiritist that this will help us improve, will help us. Nothing happens by chance, nothing, it's just, it's everything planned, even your reincarnation you planned, so you need this planning. Next one, let's go to next one. Suicide. Now we know it has been increasing a lot, the suicide. And then I'm just bringing here one question from the Spiritist book. Do human beings have the right to dispose their own life? No, only God has that right. Voluntary suicide is a violation of God's law. Voluntary, because there's also involuntary suicide, but you have to go to the Spiritist book to read more about it if you want to know more. Just giving a hint. Let's gonna talk about this. Now, we know it's breaking God's law, there is consequences. It doesn't mean you're gonna go to hell, because as a spiritist, we don't believe in hell. We make our own hell. So we know that, but as spiritists, we don't judge as well. So if we see, or if you realize that someone, is about to commit suicide, or if you know someone that's so depressing that might, go there, we will never preach this. We'll never say, yeah, don't do that because this is, it's a mistake. We're never gonna do that, because it's not the time. The time is to listen. How can I help you? If you try this one, if someone actually told you, you can say, but I worry about your life. Don't do this. I want you to live, not, oh, if you do that, it's a mistake. You're going to do this and this and that. It's not time. It's time to approach, to get better, to listen to this person. with no judgment at all. No one knows what that person, no one's in that person's shoes to know what she's been through, how difficult it is to cope with depression. So there's no way we're gonna judge. We're gonna listen and gonna ask them to look for professional help, a psychologist, a psychiatric, and we're gonna try, that's, when you find it's not time for preaching, although we know as spiritists that it's against law, God's law, and there is consequences which are not good, as we, the spirits have related, talked to us on the Spirit's book, or we have on the Spirit's book, we have on the Medium's book, all talking about after, what happens after the suicide, but we don't judge, we don't try to interpret, we help, we offer our help, our hand, our ears, can I take you somewhere, maybe we go together, do you want to go somewhere, do you want we help without judging and without preaching. That's the most important thing, and this is a big challenge. Suicide is going to be, it is already, but it's going to get worse. Suicide's going to be one of the evils of the century, the 21st century. We know as a spiritist that this is going to happen, so that's why we need to help, not preach. That's a very important thing. The other important challenge we have as well, that we have many challenges, but I just chose 3 because that's the ones that are more important. So abortion. Now, again, Spirit spoke, is voluntary abortion a crime regardless the length of the pregnancy? Any transgression of God's law is a crime. Again, same thing, Taking the life of an unborn child is a crime whether committed by the mother or someone else, because the soul is prevented from experiencing the trials intended to the body that was destroyed. We are stopping exactly that reincarnation, and in the spiritual world, we know how hard is it to actually get a reincarnation. It's not something easily, and it's something you beg to come and try, for your own improvements. As more, I'm not going to go on reincarnation here because this is another topic, another subject. But so I can be against abortion, but will I judge who does it? No, definitely not. I'm not in the shoes of that person. Will I sign petitions for the laws against abortion, for criminalizing abortion on the government? No, this is, a matter of public health. Abortion is not going to end because it's, the laws permit or not. This is not, you can be against abortion, like I am against abortion, but criminalizing abortion, that's something different, and this is you judging others. You cannot judge others, you can only judge yourself. That's, so, and again, if you think someone is not sure about this or that, offer help, not judgment, not saying, oh, you're killing a life and things, How would you think about recently, last year, that was, it happens that a 10-year-old, and we know this happen every day, child get abused and get pregnant. And some people went to the hospital where that child was to get the abortion and say, you are killing. Now, that people that are judging, you should not, we should not do that. Like a 10-year-old girl, abused, got pregnant, and you saying to that girl that she's killing her, like, where you're, why are you judging? You're not a better person to anyone else, you're just like, you're even not good enough, to understand. Other things is, if the laws has law or not, that will not stop abortion. People will commit abortion, women will, That doesn't stop. That's the thing. So criminalizing abortion by the law, by the government, it's a matter of public health that has to be dealt with the government, So it's not something you have to do, it's a public health issue. It's just like drugs, illicit drugs. I never heard someone that's not gonna, oh no, I'm not gonna do drugs because they are illicit. Everyone who does drugs, they know they are illicit, but they do anyway. They do they know the consequence of getting caught and going to jail, things like that, but they do anyway. So, why abortion? It's just like, it's no sense you say, oh, I'm against abortion, I'm gonna fight because the laws and everything. No, it's a public health matter. Women die doing abortions that it haven't been, in a conditioned way. Women, we always do abortion. That's something that will always happen. So there are consequences, but it's not you that has to judge that. You as a person, you can say, like me, I would never do abortion. I never did. I would never. And even, if I had done before, I would not do it. But that doesn't mean I have to judge others, or I have to impose to the others what I believe. That's being Spiritist, non-judgmental. And again, just saying, this is just a point of view. I think that it's a pretty relevant point of view. Suicide, abortion, the some 3 challenges that we face, and we actually, a lot of people are divided by this. We have seen, or you're pro, you're against, so we are separated. We have been seeing a lot of division. We are separated from each other, which it's not. It's okay, we have different opinions. It's okay, we think different because we are diverse. So being Spiritist is this non-judgment. No, everyone's different. Everyone's on different stage of evolution. So it is important to actually take in consideration, you're not, it's not only you. It's you when you have to improve yourself. When you judge yourself, try to be true to yourself to get better, not on the others or what the others. That's it. Being a true Spiritist, you work hard on your moral evolution, and that's most important, because that's something belongs to you. Your moral evolution belongs to you. You were born with it, born just like your body, your spirit. No, it's you. It belongs to you. It's not something you possess. It belongs. That's different. This will bring you happiness. This will bring you, when you work on your spiritual evolution, this will bring happiness, free conscience, and leave everything else to God, because He is wise. He is actually the one who made the laws, and He is the one who knows how this gonna, get better, how we going to evolve. He knows. Leave to Him. It's not you. It's between you and yourself getting better. So the other things, well, we have to spiritualism, not religion, and it's explained. Really explain why we don't consider ourselves a religion. It has been asked, is the spiritualism religion? So the spiritualists respond, no. Us, no, spiritualism is not a religion and does not wish to be. Spiritualism is based on the existence of invisible world, which is spiritual, connected with, on the umbrella of the spiritualism, formed by incorporeal entities who populate the space and who are just the souls of those who have lived on Earth or on other planets. Spiritism is founded on general principles independent of any dogmatic issue, because we didn't want Spiritism to become dogmatic. and be used as a tool of control, like some religions, some religious people take to that side. Spiritism is founded on general principles independent of any dogmatic issue. It has moral consequences that are true with the respect to Christianity, but it has no cult, temples, or ministers. That's what the thing I was talking about. We don't have a temple. We don't have a minister. The person talking here, it's not no better than the ones listening. We don't have cults, so it's just to happen a spiritist meeting. You don't need much. You need a room and people, where one or more are gathering my name, there will be. That's the principles of Christianity, and that's what I'm gonna bring the religious side of Spiritism. It's Jesus and the Spiritism. In the religious aspect, however, his divine greatness rests as it constitutes the restoration of the gospel of Jesus Christ, establishing the definite renewal of man for the greatness of his immense spiritual future. That's by Chico Emmanuel, psychographic by Chico Xavier. So on the religious side, we are aligned with through the Jesus truth teaching, and the gospel according to Spiritism is actually, Jesus' teachings explained by the spirits, So just to wrap up, again, we are not religion. We have a religious side, but we don't want to get dogmatic, being Spiritist is exactly not follow any cult or any dogma or anything. So that's why when you find challenges, if someone's a suicide, you're not going to say, oh, you're going to go to hell, or you're going to suffer terrible consequences. No, we're going to help them. How can I help you to not do it? Because your life is important to me. Or someone that had an abortion, maybe, come and then said, I think I didn't do right or anything. Yeah, you didn't do right. You should. You killed the life. No, that's not. Don't worry. There is always a way to repair, because we always have, we always have the chance to improve, to do it again. We cannot, and Emmanuel by Chico, psychograph by Chico Xavier said, we cannot change our past, but we can change our future and make it greater. So we are here to evolve spiritually. The pandemic, people say, oh, I want my freedom. I want to use the mask. I don't want to use the mask. I don't want this and that. We know there's a lot of people that think those things. So we don't need to say, oh, you're going to help because you're not doing the way it should be. Or no, of course not. It's the free will. There are consequences or anything, but we can maybe talk and say, look, I know your free will, you have your right to go wherever you want, but your right, your right ends whenever starts the rights of the other. So we going wherever we want, when we want, is actually impacting on other people not having this chance because they're gonna die, So maybe, but not judging. Come on, we cannot judge. You cannot say, oh, this is a bad person. No, it's not. We are all different. We are all diverse. We are all in different stages, and sometimes, we cannot preach when people are not ready to preach, but we can, offer our help. Something can help, something. So it's gonna try not. And again, I'm not saying this to you. I'm saying this to me more than anything, the fact I'm talking here, that doesn't mean the fact that I'm talking here is even worse, because I know those things, and when I reproduce this, I have to be, humble enough to recognize, oh my God, I'm being judgmental. I'm, doing things that, so recognize that this is not right and stop it or try to do it, and sometimes you're going to do this more than you think, but it's always a walk, everyday walk, live by the day, that is each day you try to accomplish your own internal and personal spiritual evolution for your future, for your happiness. And just would like to finish with this, Spiritism and Spiritist. So just to wrap up. So Spiritism welcomes the sufferer, suggests the way to moral development. Again, suggest when it is time to suggest. However, the effort is done by the individual on their own internal transformation path. We can show the way, just like Jesus Christ can show the way, but it's gonna be you who has to do all the work. It's in any other spiritual beliefs like this. It's our internal transformation, So we as a spiritist can provide immediate assist without judgment. So we should provide immediate assistance without judgment. If needed, we are there to help. No judgments, no talking, no preaching. Simply, how can I help you? Your life is important to me. So simple things. Listen, I'm here to listen. Can I make a coffee? Come, let's gonna have a coffee or something. Well, I know now we're in lockdown, but we try, let's gonna do a Zoom meeting and talk about it. Anyway, but just this part, this is being spiritist, this is spiritism. Lay down easy, very easy. Always, it's always, we can suggest without judging, because we know we are on the same path. We do the same mistakes, Just because I'm talking here, they said I don't judge. Of course I judge, and every day sometimes I don't even recognize, I don't even think about, sometimes just later on I said, oh my God, I said that, but it shouldn't be, I did that, So that is being spiritist, your own improvements between you and God. And whenever someone needs, we do the true charity. We actually help, we assist in the way we can. So that's the message I had today. Hope you liked. I don't know if you have any questions, but I'm sure Stefan is there to answer or something. I would like to finish with a final prayer, and I'm going to talk about a little bit our calendar. Okay, so I'm just gonna do our final prayer. If you'd like to close your eyes, deep breath, connect to spiritual world. I'd like to thank everyone for being here today. I'd like to thank the spiritual guardians of the group, of each one, for the help, for being here, for blessing us. May everyone have a great week ahead, and God be with you. So be it. Thank you very much. Just going to talk. Oh, forgot to talk about bibliography, but yeah, I'm taking apart from posthumous work of Allan Kardec, the Gospel, the Comforter from Emmanuel, in the Spiritist book. today. They are all available on the internet if you want to. And our activities always, the public meetings are every Sunday at 11:15. We have talk show every Tuesday and Thursday, 7:15 p.m. And we study group on Wednesday by Zoom meet from 8 to 9 p.m. Anything you need, just email us or through the website, the Facebook page. The email is spiritismireland@gmail.com. So I hope everyone had a good time and have a great week ahead. Bye-bye.